Houston is the fourth largest city in America, with a population closing in at 3 million plus people. Although it's nothing like Los Angeles or New York City, it has its quirks and is known for finance corporations and oil companies. Even beneath the city's sprawling activity, there has been claims of some dark history with paranormal urban legends. Let's explore Houston's dark side with these top 4 haunted places in Houston, Texas. Number 4. The Spaghetti Warehouse. The Spaghetti Warehouse is located in the heart of downtown Houston near the hustle and bustle. The Italian eatery became a restaurant in the year 1972, but was built in the 1900s. It was a produce warehouse and a pharmacy, and then finally known as the Spaghetti Warehouse. The reason for its paranormal findings stems from an old story about the pharmacist. The pharmacist had fallen down an elevator shaft and unfortunately died. The wife of the pharmacist heavily grieved until she died shortly sometime later. The two are said to haunt the Spaghetti Warehouse. The employees and management claim to see the pair and also a small child that roams the Spaghetti Warehouse. It's also a hot spot for urban exploration. Take a look at this photo. As patrons dine in, you can see in the background a strange dark figure that's really out of place. Not sure what to think of it. However, sadly, due to Hurricane Harvey, the place has suffered significant damage and is permanently closed. Number 3. The Minitex Mansion. Located in the south part of Houston, Texas, the Minitex Mansion was said to be haunted. The mansion was built in the 1950s, and the last time it was on the market was in 2008 and sold for a price of $250,000. After the final sale of the home, a man was beaten to death and found by police in the front yard. In 2014, the house was known as a hotspot for Halloween gatherings, and unfortunately, the house was burned down to the ground. As the haunting rumors goes, check out the video footage and take a close look at the window. It appears to have 2 apparitions walking by. You have to look closely.
Whoa!
Number 2. La Carafe. La Carafe is one of the most oldest buildings in Houston. It is listed on the National Register of Historical Places. Today, it is a part of the local bar scene. Oddly, it only accepts cash and no credit cards. Besides being a cozy bar, the second floor, which is sealed off, is said to inhabit ghost and paranormal activity. The second floor is not accessible. However, bartenders claim to see bottles fly off shelves, hear creepy noises, and have other random objects move about. The place has had several seances and has been featured in the local news. Maybe one day when I have time, I should pay it a visit.
Very popular among the living and the dead. Carolyn Wengler has owned the bar for decades. She's never seen anything supernatural herself, but when it comes to ghost stories about this place, she's heard them all.
A man was in the men's restroom back here, and he proceeded to have his back to the front, and he felt somebody come up and put his hand up on his shoulder. He looked around, and there was nobody there. He left the bar in a hurry.
In this 140-year-old historic building, not all of the ghosts are invisible. One former employee who passed away decided to return and likes to make regular appearances.
Carl Trescott, he was a manager at one point in time. And I had a dark bartender at Warren's that had seen him up in the upstairs window up here. And then we had somebody else saw him also. But anyhow, he spent...
Number 1. Jefferson Davis Hospital. Jefferson Davis was built in 1925 and survived many uses, including a disease control center, psychiatric ward, and medical records storage facility. It was named after a Confederate president, Jefferson Davis, and it gets even more creepier. The hospital is built on top of the resting place for Confederate soldiers and slaves. When excavation first took place, human remains had been dug up, thus the building's basement was actually built on top of the ground rather than below it to leave the graves undisturbed. The hospital was totally abandoned in 1938 and as of today stands the Elder Street Lofts. Urban explorers have explored the hospital when it was abandoned and found that they were not alone. Some say they have heard whispers, cries, screams, and talking when nobody was there. Some say they have seen ghostly apparitions of hospital patients and other beings, such as shadow creatures. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you would like to see more content like this, comment below and stay tuned for more creepy stuff on this channel.